Hi Sarah, hi Emily. Let's talk about First Amendment rights. Whoa.
I don't know how to get rid of this.
I don't know how close you guys follow what's been going on at my school or like news associated with my school. Probably not at all. But just to catch you guys up in case you haven't heard. Last week at my campus, there was a Nazi walking around our plaza. And the first day he was there, he just was wearing a swastika. And it was like a handmade swastika armband. And he was just riding his bike around and getting his bike registered. And it started a huge thing on social media. People were warning their friends that there was a Nazi in Turlington and that they needed to watch out. Well, 2 days later, he comes back to Turlington. He just stands there pretty much. He stands by the potato in our thing and he's wearing his swastika armband again. And I can show you links to pictures of him or articles or whatever so you can see basically what was going on. Well, it started a huge sort of riot. People were printing out posters of Captain America punching Hitler in the face and waving them around. People were yelling at him, screaming at him. The police had to come and make sure that he wasn't getting attacked because people were trying to punch him. I think some people did punch him. There was a few other people who reacted differently. One guy was just playing a guitar and saying "I love you" to him. And I believe one of our professors, who was Jewish at the university, was defending him from attacks, but overwhelmingly the majority was just a ton of hate. So then it started a sort of debate. A lot of people wanted him forcibly removed from campus. However, that can't really happen because he's just doing his First Amendment rights of free speech. He wasn't being violent, he wasn't doing anything, so the police said, I'm sorry, we can't remove him, this is his right. So some people retaliated by saying, well, the swastika is a sign of genocide and therefore is fighting words, which fighting words are not protected speech. And fighting words, I believe, are intended to cause immediate violence or immediate threat of violence at the least. And people were saying that the swastika in itself qualified as a threat of immediate violence because it's associated with genocide. Personally, I don't think that argument really holds up because one, no actual words, written or oral, are being elicited. Two, even if the swastika is a sign of violence, it's not an immediate threat. It's just a symbol of past genocide. So I don't think wearing a swastika counts as fighting words sufficient enough to say that he should be forcibly removed and that is not protected speech. A few days later, my friend sent me an article that someone had written about this man. It was satire, making fun of this man, saying he was neglected as a child, he was a virgin, he was in love with Hitler and enjoyed pretending to be a woman, which in a way is people using their free speech rights to retaliate his free speech rights. So, this whole event has caused a lot of debate about both free speech and both threats of violence. I personally have an unpopular opinion on this. I, for one, don't actually think he's a Nazi, at least not a neo-Nazi in the classical sense of the word. He made a statement about doing this as a social experiment, and I don't even know if that's true, but I do think he's trying to make a statement. And I think that it should be a statement about tolerance. He has been greeted with the most hateful response. If you read the article, I'll put the link below. It is extremely hateful. He has been punched. He has been robbed. He reported that someone tried to run him over with their car. And I think it's extremely hypocritical for these people to say that they are angry and furious at him because he shows intolerance to a certain culture, and then to respond with total intolerance and with total hate is ridiculous. I mean, you could argue you're being intolerant of intolerance, but this man himself has not displayed any of those traits. Obviously, wearing a swastika is extremely offensive to anyone who was a part of a group that was affected by the Holocaust. I'm not Jewish, and so I was not directly affected by the Holocaust, so the swastika is probably not as offensive to me as it would be to a member of that Jewish community or gypsy community or homosexuals. I don't think that you fight hate with hate. I don't know, but maybe give me your thoughts. This is a poster that I found on the ground the day after the riot, so it's an interesting discussion. What do you guys think? Was this man wrong in displaying a symbol of hate and a symbol of genocide? Or was he just using his freedom of speech in order to express an opinion? Was my community right in forming against him in acts of hate in order to stand in solidarity with the oppressed parties? Or was it wrong for them to retaliate to a man who had done nothing but express his right of speech and beat, threaten to kill, and attempt to kill him, and respond so violently to a person who has done no violent acts. When you look at things like the swastika symbol, and when you look at this sort of satire that is hateful, derogatory libel, where do you think the line draws between freedom of speech and acts of violence and acts of hate? And should those things be protected, or should we have efforts against them in order to protect people over words? I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. I'm interested to hear all about controversial issues that you guys are going to talk about, and I will see you on Wednesday, maybe, which is today. Okay. Bye!